Longview, turn right on Southmont. I've been doing this account for probably 6 months, but I always get lost in this neighborhood. These maps. This is one of those old neighborhoods where one street turns into another, and up Longview, right on Southmont. Doritos. I'm completely addicted to Doritos. I eat them all day long. I start to feel a little crazy, eat some Doritos and be alright. The truck's kind of junky. You know, I feel like, I mean, it's a work truck. It's not a, for, you know, entering into a car show, so I ain't worried about it. Who expects a bug man to be that clean, you know? I think I took the wrong street. Let's turn it around. There's this kind of hippie girl I was talking to. I mean, it wasn't while I was working or anything, but when she was saying something like, what if, you know, bugs are reincarnated and they're really my uncle or something, I don't know what. And I was like, well, I mean, I'm just helping them on past the worst stage of it then, I guess. I mean, idiot. And she's a hypocrite too if she's ever eaten at a good restaurant and not gotten food poisoning, because I mean, if it weren't for pest control, you'd all have like the Black Plague or something, I mean, or food poisoning. Because, I mean, those little bastards carry diseases. So, I mean, you know, you don't really, like, you know, girls don't really go crazy or anything when you tell them you're a bug man, but, you know, really, it's an important job. I mean, you know, people used to get a lot more diseases and sick in cities and stuff when they didn't have pest control. And so I feel like I'm really protecting society as much as anybody, you know, as much as a cop, or I don't know. I mean, you see how important it is when you go in somewhere that doesn't have pest control, a restaurant or something, and you see the mice and the roach droppings all over the place and think people have to eat there. It's sick. You know, and then you go in and you tell them what they need to do to clean up, and you do what you need to do to get rid of them. You work together on it, and you go back a couple months later and there's no roaches. And you know people are eating at a clean restaurant then, you know. I mean, that's pretty satisfying, you know. I'm gonna do this house here. This guy's nice. He's got a big black lab that jump all over you, can go crazy, but most black labs are, I mean, they'll eat you alive, but this one's nice. I don't know, it's a different breed. There's two different kinds of breeds they were telling me. One with a big square head, that's this kind. I guess they're not as protective, I don't know. Driving down the road, jars and everything, so I have to unlock, lock, unlock every time I get in the thing. Just old kitchen glove, you know. Nothing fancy there. And this pump here's got a, you know, first job I had, you had to manually crank up this gas motor and it was loud, and you know, pull it out manually. It's all electric here. I'm gonna pull it back in. This is kind of the section for mice. I'm running low. I need to get some more traps, but I got regular old wood traps. They're a little bit different than they used to be now. They have this plastic you hook them under, and then these are glue traps. Pull them apart, put some peanut butter in the middle, set them out one at a time, put those back together, and good old high scientific pest control right there. Peanut butter, Peter Pan. And I'll tell you, I don't particularly like to use those glue boards though. I use them because I have to, because one of them catch 5 or 6 mice and before they have to take it out, but these poor little guys get stuck to it, and I actually had to drop a boulder on one once. He'd probably been on there 6 hours or so. He was just struggling, his eyes were swollen shut, and he's still trying to get off of it, and drop a rock on him, just crush his skull and take him out of his misery. But I don't like to do that. But on the other hand, I can't set wood traps for every mouse someone might have, so it's one of those things where you balance animal cruelty with trying to get your job done, you know. It's just one of the things of the job. I think animals like that, though, I think they feel pain, but they don't comprehend it the way we do. So, you know, just one of those things. Try not to think about too much. Hardly ever see people at home. But that's the fringe benefits of the job there. Just getting to, you know, pet people's dogs and be out in creation and everything. Just perfect weather, probably 65 degrees. Of course, you know, icy rain in the winter every now and then, and you know, then it gets up 110 degrees with the heat index. That's not fun, but I think it all balances out pretty well. I mean, I would hate to just sit inside all day long on days like this. You know, I'll go in every now and then and you know, a customer say, man, it's a nice day out there today, and not thinking about them having to sit inside all day. bank tellers and that sort of thing just say, be quiet, we got to sit in here all day, that kind of thing. You know, I tell you, that's what's really the worst part of the job, I would say, is well, the two worst things, one is going into these apartments where, I mean, it's so sad because you got these older people that can't take care of themselves, and everything's just covered with roach droppings, and you know, it smells so bad you want to vomit sometimes, and you know, they can hardly get around, and you know, you just wonder where they're falling through the cracks in the system, you know. And then I guess the only other thing I really dislike is collections. We get commission based off of our collections, and sometimes people just don't want to pay you. I mean, 2 months go by, 3 months, okay, you know, I mean, I got to make a living here, you know. I mean, if you can't pay me, why didn't you cancel? Why didn't you call and say, hey, can we work something out, you know? I mean, it's just one of those things that I guess it just shows a part of the darker side of human nature, you know. We all want something for free, I guess, but you know, you end up people owing you $150 if you don't pay attention. You know, that's like 6 months worth of pest control. But that's not that often, and you know, most of the time, most of my tickets, people pay at least, you know, they don't get more than 30 days behind. It's awkward when you don't live in a real big place, though. You go, you're having to get on people to collect, and then you go to, you know, eat somewhere and at a restaurant, and there you see them working, serving you, you know, and it's just kind of it's kind of awkward. But you just treat people with respect, and even when you try to collect, you know, and you just expect them to treat you with respect, and usually it pays off.